But yeah, so round out our topics for the night. We got USC and UCLA to join the Big Ten. So in 2024, UCLA and USC will be joining the Big Ten and be leaving the Pac-12. So, Jordan, this is in your country.
It is,
You're in
yeah.
Pac-12 country. So,
It is.
man, your thoughts on USC and UCLA going to the Big Ten?
The thing that I see about USC and UCLA is if you really look at the Pac 12 versus the Big Ten, which has more exposure, because that's what you want as a school. You want the bigger TV contracts. Well, it's going to be the Big Ten. I mean, how many of you have watched the Pac 12 game besides the Pac 12 network? They're not really on national TV that much. Sure, they have supposedly they have a contract with ESPN, but those games are on at like 8-9 o'clock at night. That would be 11 o'clock for you. So I don't know how many Pac-12 games you get to see. At least with the Big Ten, those are mostly on national TV. Plus, look at the teams you have. Much better competition. Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. I mean, Maryland and Rutgers not the greatest. Same with Indiana, but Iowa's good. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Purdue, Illinois sometimes is good. Nebraska, who, if you know that I'm a Colorado fan, I don't really like Nebraska, but they're trending up. Northwestern has some of their years where they're pretty good. So it's a better conference. That's just going to elevate them to be better. Plus recruiting. It's all about recruiting. Where would you rather go? Pac-12 or Big Ten or Big Ten? I would rather go to the Big Ten because of the fact that you're going to get more exposure. Now, for the rest of the Pac-12 with Colorado, I've heard rumors that you may go back to the Big 12. They're going to try to recruit Arizona State, Oregon, CU. But the thing is does Colorado want to go back to the Big 12 where they just left? Because I think the thinking was they were going to get more exposure at the Big 12 or Pac-12, excuse me, and they were going to get more money. Well, the money hasn't. I mean, the money's there, but they haven't really gotten the exposure. Plus, they haven't been great in football. So I just think we're going to get to a point where there's only going to be a couple of conferences. We're going to get rid of most of these conferences. It's just going to be 3 or 4 big conferences.
Yeah. So you don't like the children of corn, I see. Obviously not. Yeah, what you got, Mallory?
I'm really lost about this, when kind of college football and the way they have, and all that. I'm not joking. I'm like really lost. So I looked at what I heard was by them moving there is going to make the Big Ten. What was they saying? They basically said it was a money move because there's about to be some TV. I think the Big Ten is about to have some TV contracts come up.
I believe. That sounds about right.
They come out.
So by them going there, and I think wasn't there a big coach just went to USC? Wasn't there a coach from last? Okay,
Lincoln
so
Riley. Lincoln
right.
Riley.
So by them going there, wouldn't the negotiations be bigger?
You would think, and plus the NIL is also going to be huge too.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the whole thing. And like I said, like Jalen Rose has been saying this too. Like everybody, like when I say it a lot, the pandemic kind of like set up a lot. So a lot now, a lot of people are still rebuilding based upon how the pandemic was. And I think there is a lot of TV money. I think it opened up definitely for streaming. Like it's so many streaming apps since then. And I think it's like big platforms like Prime and cable. It's a lot of that going up. So it's a lot of money being on the table. Even Hulu. It's a lot of money being on the table. So I think that's smart. And I like what you said, Jordan, about less conferences. That might even be more exciting. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my take on it because I don't know much about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely interesting because it's funny when it comes to college football. I feel like I've become a traditionalist when it comes to the pageantry of it all. Because I always think about like the Rose Bowl. Like you could say RIP to the Rose Bowl because to me, I always look at the contrasting of styles coming to Pasadena. You got the Pac-12 champion versus usually it would be the Big Ten champion, but now normally they might be in the national championship game or whatever. Or they could be a semifinals or what have you. So that passion is gone. It is what it is. But yeah, I understand. And it's funny where college football is literally going to be like helter skelter. It's almost like a dust storm is coming. Come on, pack your bags. We got to find a way to get out because USC and UCLA, because pretty much when it's time to go for the negotiating table, they're probably going to get $80 million annually each team. So they're going to potentially the Big Ten is potentially going to get $1 billion contract. Which and that's where it's almost like, hey, let's all kind of come together and because that's gonna sweeten the pot. Because now you gotta have a different demographic. Because now it's funny because people say this back coastal, but really it's track coastal because you got the Midwest, you got the Northeast. Because obviously Rutgers, even though Rutgers, it is what it is. It's geographically in the Northeast, and then now you got the West and USC and UCLA where. And it's funny because everybody was saying, "Oh, it's about the weather and everything," but I think they'll still be fine because you can have UCLA and USC still play the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so that keeps them out east, and then keep them out west. And then if they make it to the Big Ten championship, you would still hope it's going to be in Indianapolis, so you don't have to worry about the weather. So the weather thing, I was in mind, but then also to your point, Maui, where I didn't even know who got their hat in the ring for the TV negotiations.
Who?
Amazon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
I was like, whoa! Like now that's a different ball game now because
ever since the pandemic.
Who's gonna be there now? Because at first I'm thinking other things like, well, who's gonna be the announcing team? Like, is Herbie gonna I'm telling you, that's how your mind always wanted. Like, okay, is this? Can Herbie make that little transition over to Amazon or, and kind of, do what he needs to do on, Thursday night NFL and then do, set. But I think, but going back to kind of the context of the story itself, I kind of went a little left over there when it came to that type of stuff. But it just makes sense. And I think everybody's kind of like bolting because obviously, Texas and Oklahoma was going to the SEC. So that's going to be another one where they're going to command $1 billion as well when their deal is up. I'm really interested in where Notre Dame is going to be the one I think is going to be interesting because I didn't need, and it's so crazy. So I didn't even know they got their own network and they only get like $11 million from NBC. And I'm like, huh? Like, it's how? Like, and you got to think about it. You get that, and then they get a chunk of ACC. They get like 11.3 or something like that. So they get probably maybe in a ballpark of like 25 million, give or take. And you got to think to yourself, I can go to the Big Ten and get potentially $80 million. And then, or go to, and get that. But the caveat here, it's going to be the biggest domino that's going to fall is going to be the ACC. So what's going to be interesting about the ACC is this. So they have a clause, and it was the grant of rights. So pretty much if you leave the conference, right? If you leave the conference, you got to pay the ACC $50 million. So if I'm Clemson or Miami, if I'm going to get paid $80 million annually, will I take that hit? Or could these conferences say, hey, we can fit about half of the bill. Hey, we give you $25 million to get ACC. You put up your 25, you still get your money. So that's the thing where I think futuristic wise, that's going to be definitely interesting. And all this stuff it's almost like to a point where you want to get yourself ready for 2026 when it's time for the new play in the new college football playoff. That's where you really want to be. It's almost like USC and UCLA were proactive. Texas and Oklahoma was proactive. They got their stuff and went. They know a storm is coming. They got their case of water, their flashlights and all that, and they done moved away. These other teams, I think ACC is going to be the one that's going to probably be in that basement, weathering that storm, still there because there still can be some interesting teams that could go. Like if I'm a Clemson, hey, do I go to SEC if I can get a purse of potentially $80 to $90 million annually, is it worth me taking that $50 million, that one-time payment of $50 million to get out of the conference to go to the SEC? And then what kind of money you're going to get when there's a 12-team playoff? And pretty much what conferences are really going to take shape? Because I know we talked about it initially when we first found about the 12-team. That's going to make the argument for multiple teams and multiple conferences to make it. But now you really only got really 2 bona fide conferences, and they're going to at least get 3 to 4. Because you got to think about it. That's 8 teams out of 2 conferences. What the other 4 is going to be? So it could be potentially 5. How it plays out, it could be 5 teams out of the SEC, or if they're 5 out of the Big Ten, and then you got 2 mid-major, which it was funny because they still would be considered a Power 5 team, but they would be a mid-major versus the polar opposite in college basketball, where it's, But I tell you, it's good to be in a business of college football. I swear. My goodness.
It's a lot of money there, man, because it's like those 2 coaches with what was it? USC and what was it? LSU?
Riley. Oh yeah, Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly.
They got that big. They got that money. I was like, "Are you serious? They paying college coaches that much?"
Oh yeah.
And then listening to what you're saying, you gotta pay them coaches too, man.
Yeah, and they're going right. That's the thing. I'm telling you.
That's a lot of money.
And it's to a point where the ACC is like, you might want to up that fee for leaving. If you can. I doubt if you can, because it's probably written in stone. But it's to a point where even the ACC, who you think got an ironclad type of deal, that could be shattered because the money that's made on the other end. It's like, because you think to yourself, when I first mentioned that, 50 million, but then it's like, if you're making 80, so, and you probably, and I'm not sure, because if Notre Dame is getting, I think Notre Dame is getting like 11.3 million off the ACC, because they play, I think like 4 or 5 ACC games. So if I'm looking at it from a fractional standpoint, you probably thinking, because I think USC and them, they were only getting like 19.8 million annually, so, yeah, but yeah, it's starting to become business, and hey, people just they looking out for themselves. Like, hey, we know that the storm is coming. We gotta get out of Dodge.
Right.
That's what it all boils down to. So, shout out to, and that's gonna be definitely interesting too. That's another where they would have that range, where especially from a standpoint, they pretty much can cover just about every base except for South.
So let me ask you, when you're dealing with these conferences, right? Is it like, let's say like Pac-12? Is there certain times that they're going to pay the Pac-12 games?
It depends.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. It just comes down to whatever the TV contract actually says.
Right.
And the good thing with even like, I think like what's gonna be good, like when you merge USC, UCLA, and that's another thing too, that's gonna bring in more money, because you think to yourself, all these teams, if UCLA, they play at the Rose Bowl, just imagine if Penn State come to town, that's gonna be a Penn State home game. Wisconsin, that's gonna be a Wisconsin home game. It's literally
Michigan State.
Like half of the conference is they travel. So and of course you think about that's like a damn summer vacation in mid-October. Like if I gotta go to Rose Bowl in October, I'm gonna go. If my team is playing in the Rose Bowl and it's 30-something degrees out here in Madison, Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna head west for the weekend. So that's another thing too. God, and that's gonna definitely help, because Jordan, when it, especially, oh God, it's embarrassing looking at USC play. UCLA playing that Rose Bowl. It's like it looked like it's just me, you, and Maui at the game. Especially if they have like a 12 o'clock tip their time. Like I remember I was watching a game. They had a 3 o'clock game at my time, which is 12 there. It's like, Dad, did anybody wake up yet? Like,
No,
everybody in
they
the bed?
haven't, no.
Like,
Yeah.
I forgot who they played. I forgot who they played last year, and I was watching that game because it was right at the one of those 12 o'clock tips with kickoffs. And I'm like, and it was actually, I forgot who they were playing, but they were actually playing somebody legitimate. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say they weren't playing a ranked team, but they were playing somebody at least worth watching. Because I mean, like you said, I was watching it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, so it was, it was a national televised game on ABC. I think at the time, I think it was on ABC. I think, I'm not sure, but I forget. It might have been on one of them. But that's another thing too, where and then that what really sucks is Pac-12 after dark is pretty much damn near on life support.
It really is. I mean,
like
those games are kickoff at, well, even for me, I know I'm a little bit
Yeah.
earlier than you guys. It's at 9 o'clock. I may
Yep.
watch a quarter and that's it.
Yep.
Because the game's going to end at midnight here? That's just too late. I know that's 2 o'clock your time. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just a ridiculous kickoff time.
Right.
Yeah, because one time Utah played like 11:30 my time. I think, Utah played one time like 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I was
even-
like, yeah.
Even when they do 8:30 kickoffs, I'm like, do I really want to stay up until, well, let's see. I can't remember who they were playing, but maybe it was UCLA. It's like, do I really want to stay up until 11:30 midnight because of, timeouts and commercials? It's like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather watch that at, prime time, 6 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right.
And the good thing about that too, where if you do have those primetime matchups at USC or the Rose Bowl with UCLA, you can have them at 5 o'clock there in LA time.
Mm-hmm.
And then that used to be so picturesque. Then you think about the sunset coming down in Pasadena over them mountains. Oh boy, that'll be that's gonna be exciting. Because you can, and that's another thing too, where you can literally have a Rose Bowl like every week. So I can't really be like,
This is
feeling that
true.
way.
Listen to him, man. He's so excited.
You think about if you have a 5 o'clock game, like Ohio State play UCLA in the Rose Bowl. I feel bad for you if I feel bad for UCLA because it's gonna be nothing but scarlet and white. There, I mean, it's gonna be a home game for the road team, regardless of whoever plays. But that'll be nice. Oh boy, that's gonna be 2024 need to hurry up.
He just wants to go further into the calendar, get it to 2024.
Right.
But yeah,
so bottom line is, you think the moves, even though it's a money move, you think so? You're saying it's basically going to be better for the fan and the customer in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be I think it will be, and the good thing about it is just like, and then that's another thing too. I'm like, when I heard Amazon was in the bid, I was like, whoa, boy, like, man, like Amazon about to take over the sports world. Like it's gonna be crazy. Then I'm already thinking to myself, who gonna be on that broadcasting team? Who they're gonna have? They're gonna have like a Amazon game day.
Pat McPhee.
There you go.
Pat McAfee.
He'll be there.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was gonna get the NFL sideline job. I thought he was gonna get that.
Oh, they don't like him, man. There's something about him. Every time I watch him, he was like, "Yeah, they done banned me from Twitter," or somebody that he always something going on.
The NFL, I forgot I don't know if I forgot what in the NFL banned them off of Twitter or something like that. Oh no, Instagram.
Really?
They banned off Instagram, yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Like who's gonna will be there. But yeah, I just feel like you said the Pac-12 is done. Like the Pac-12 after dark, it's just gonna be a hashtag that's gonna be in the wind.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But yeah. So let's put a bow on this week's Couch Coach Live, fellas. So we'll go around the horn. Social media and upcoming projects. What you got, Jordan?
Well, my Twitter handle is @SportsScoop1. I have my blog that I write Mondays through Thursdays with podcasts on Fridays, just about pretty much any major sports. I do have a live stream that I put on there that is on Fridays. It's called Under Review. That basically is Colorado sports with a sprinkling of national sports stories as well. Of course, I'm with Couch Coach on both the NBA and the NFL carousels.
Yeah. Season 3 about to pull up on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got, Maui?
Oh man, great show. Always a pleasure, Coach. Good talk, good insights we had today. Seriously, really good insights. You know what I mean? That I don't see on other platforms. Jordan, I want to say congratulations to you. You was very humble. You didn't throw Russell Wilson down my throat. You didn't say, "Yeah, boy, we got KCP too." All that good stuff. I
Oh yeah.
appreciate you. But and social media, just DT Morgan 78 Instagram and Deshaun Morgan Facebook. But great show, guys. Can't wait till next week.
Yeah. Once again, another great Couch Coach Live in the books. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. If you're watching us live or go watch the replay on YouTube or wherever, you see that QR code next to us on that overlay. Scan that. That'll take you to couchcoachlive.com where you have all the episodes of Couch Coach Live, our social media feed as well. We guess we'll be doing some. I'm trying to, as far as add some more content to the website, and also we'll be updating the website pretty soon with some merch and stuff like that. So we're just gonna get that going, and then got an NFL preview coming up very very shortly. So we're on the works of getting that all together. I think that's going to start on July 28th. Not 100% sure. I think I locked in that date, but July 28th. So we'll have a little bit of a twist. I know we did divisionals, but now I think we're going to do team by teams plus divisionals. So we're gonna make it a spectacular ninth annual NFL Couch Coach Live preview with a little bit of bang this time. But yeah. And got a great show lined up for you guys next week. We got a special guest next week. Well, I'll tease that during the week, so we'll definitely get that going. And yeah, man. So yeah, this has been this week's Couch Coach Live, man. We'll catch you guys next week. And
You're welcome.
We out.
Is he gone?
I don't know.
I guess so. All right, Jordan, man. I see you.
See ya.
All right.